Hi, we're here with Nadia Edwards-Dashti, Chief Customer Officer at Harrington Star, a UK Fintech talent firm. Great, you were here to moderate a very interesting panel about agents of change in talent recruitment in the UK. You had a chance to speak with people that are not your day-to-day occupation, coming from the institutional level of banking, from the retail side of brokers. What did you learn researching for the panel and hearing them on stage?
Firstly, it was a fantastic panel, and we had such diversity of thoughts on this panel because the people that I was interviewing, some of them focused on institutional side, investment banking, hedge funds. We then had a focus on fintechs, up and coming new companies as well, sales, technology, all within the space. But also it wasn't just UK focused. They decided to make it more global because that is what is happening in talent right now. What I learned is actually we need to really cherish different people's opinions when it comes to talent and making sure we are still attracting the best talent to this industry, and even more importantly, retaining that talent and making sure that we are looking after the people that have joined this industry. Are we upskilling them? Are we investing in what makes a great, thriving workplace for them? Are we making sure that they are associated with the right managers to help upskill them? So there were lots of different things that we considered. Honestly, it was probably the best panel I've been in a long time.
Okay, that's
really happy.
Great news. And there was a moment in time that these hedge funds and banks were stopping looking for economists and starting looking for computer engineers or software engineers for trading roles. What skills would you say are the most sought after at the moment in the fintech space?
So, interestingly, sales skills are really on the rise. Or maybe not that interestingly. Let me tell you about it. So,
among the neobanks and of the world, the Revoluts of the world.
Really interesting. So essentially, we have been going through a two-year pause in growth, right? Generally across the whole of the industry. Growth has slowed down. We've seen all the high-profile cases of the tech cutbacks. Many people in marketing, in strategy, in innovation have ended up being made redundant, and companies have carried on. They've carried on by making sure that they're investing in people who are functional. What they are now starting to see is that some money's coming back into the industry, some new projects are getting signed off. It may be...
You need to monetize.
It may, yeah.
Okay, it's time to monetize. Okay.
So we are seeing an increase in these sales positions, but also an increase in strategy, in innovation. We're having more conversations around well-being. Like for a year and a half, having a conversation around people and their well-being in the workplace, that had taken a dip. We're starting to see that come back. Skills, of course, people are talking about AI, the Gartner can do its hype curve, the curve is still hyping,
Okay.
And it's really interesting that, so many people are still talking about AI, good, the bad, the ugly, how we can use it, how we can moderate it, how we can make sure that it's safe, how we can ensure we've got this balance, and this came out in the talk, this balance of efficiency and empathy. How do we really leverage that when we're talking about AI? We're still seeing lots of demand on those tech skills. So however many articles want to be written about developers and software engineers and their skills going down in favor of prompt engineers because of AI, there's still software engineers skills.
So AI hasn't killed
Not yet,
programming stars?
Not yet, and I don't think it will.
No, for sure. I mean, maybe you've seen on LinkedIn that video by Ben Affleck saying that AI is a good craftsman, and craft is knowing how to create, but art is knowing how to stop.
Yeah,
so perhaps the programmers have still
But I do quite like the concept of that, and I think that is missing in a lot of the AI conversations, that art of the craft, and that space to be creative. Because if you do boil it down, and you think if I had all that data presented to me accurately, I could then spend all my time focusing on what to do with it. And I don't think we're really spending all that time on what to do with it. Are we using it for good? That came out in today's panel as well when we were talking about agents for change, because when it comes to talent and attracting people to the industry, a lot of companies sadly are going to move their direction to attract what about retain? What about invest in that current talent pool? Got to make sure that we're not losing those amazing people from our industry with amazing skills.
I would dare to suggest that placement firms like yourself might be challenged, let's say, or lunch might be at risk from AI, because if an AI agent can filter, can predict, can do all that, maybe that accentuates the human factor. And I know you're very big and very strong on making friendships, making relationships. So maybe you can share how spreading the word and being personal helped throughout your career.
I completely, this is exactly who I am, like you know me well. I'm all about personality, characteristics, what makes us different, and celebrating that, learning from one another. And AI tools receiving 1,000 applications for a role, and that AI tool may not notice that one of those people went to an event and got themselves in front of you and said, "Hey Jonathan, I did this application." Suddenly, we're back to people being people, and you're absolutely right. I have invested my whole career on understanding people's personalities, and the way that I always recruited from 20 years ago until now, and all the people within Harrington Star, is to advocate for our candidates. So when there is a query on something on a CV, we should have a story behind that query. AI wouldn't have that. And I think this is where we're going to really see two different paths start forming in the future of talent. And that will be something that can never be taken away from us: the empathy, the people factor, the advocacy, putting somebody forward because you believe in them, versus some of the larger firms will have to go down the AI route simply to get through 2,000 CVs.
That's a lot to take in. I want to go to payments for a minute, because you're also, among the many hats you wear, are also very involved in the EWPN,
European Women Payment Network.
Yes, I knew it when we were off the record. So, what is the latest you see in terms of conversation in payments? I know that now many talk about the arms race in identity, in the sense that in the race to the super app, to the one super app that rules them all, the battle in payments is on getting the identity right, and from there start spreading the tap to pay, tap to enter. So what do you hear as the most prevalent trend or focus that keep people busy?
Fraud. Wow.
Correct.
Like it is at the end of every
Are neobanks
sentence.
doing good enough a job in your view?
I think there's a lot to say that more can be done.
Yes.
I think there's a lot to say that more can be done.
Congrats to all the passer buyers.
Exactly. And I think the feedback from the industry is that there needs to be more collaboration between some of the banks, fintechs, regulators of course. There needs to be more conversations.
Will we see more compliance jobs in these? Are you getting requests for fraud specialists?
Across the board, we're seeing more compliance jobs. We're seeing lots of layers of compliance jobs as well. So maybe 3-4 years ago, you'd have a smaller compliance team that had to cover everything. And now these teams are becoming bigger within organisations that are the same size. And there's more layers to what they're doing, who they're talking to, and what their responsibilities are, which I think is another fascinating turn in the future of payments in this industry.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of us focus on what jobs we're losing rather than what jobs we're gaining. And we are seeing more there. And again, I'll mention sales as well. We're seeing a lot more there. And again, layers, from pre-sales, business development, partnerships, account managers. There's lots of layers to a sales cycle.
So thanks God for fraud that creates so many new jobs. And on this happy note, I am reliably informed that yesterday was your birthday.
Yes.
So we at the Finance Magnates team have decided to bring a modest token of appreciation for all the collaboration in your work. So happy birthday,
so
Mazel Tov.
I really appreciate
Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.